Alright guys, welcome to another one of my videos, and today I'm really excited to showcase to you guys and talk about the Rabbit R1. Now for those of you guys who have not been keeping up with this product and how much craziness has been going on in the world of tech, talking about the Rabbit R1 and also the Humane AI pin as well, of how much of a catastrophe they've been and you know, based on the reviews that I've watched and stuff like that. But I'm still very interested. I'm very interested in where AI is going to take us, how much it's going to help us in the future. We haven't actually talked a lot about AI on this channel, but I think this is the starting point of today of products like this, and a product that I'll tease at the end of this video that we'll be doing a review on as well, that relates to AI and why I wanted to get into it. And yeah, AI is obviously going to be featured in a lot of products. It's going to be featured more and more products as the time goes on. This is just one of the mainstream ones that has been hitting our radar because it's been talked about for so long. There was so much hype surrounding it. And now it's here. You can see it's in the box, but obviously I already opened the box. I just wanted to showcase the box here on what it comes in. And we're going to do a little bit of a quick what comes in the box when we start the video and all that kinds of stuff. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
All right, guys, so really quickly, let's start off with what comes in the box here. So you can see the box is just a plain cardboard box here. It does say Rabbit here on the side where you pull the tab off here on the side of it, as you see me do right there. And then when you open up the box, I have the Rabbit R1 sitting right next to me because, again, I've been using it and testing it, of course. It comes in this little plastic shell, and this box here has a little gray area where this is kind of sitting right here. And, you know, it's nicely protected. It has this little top slit to kind of hold it in place. So it definitely fits nicely in the box, but the box isn't anything, like, special to talk about. But the actual case that it comes in is really nice here, as you guys are looking at right there. This nice little sleek white case that it comes in and stored in. You have it right there. And then if we open it up here, you can see the Rabbit R1 sitting right in front of us. And what I really like about this case that it comes in is it actually doubles as a stand. So you can see right here, you can kind of leave it standing right there in front of us, as you can see right there, which is awesome. And then it acts as a protective case. So you can obviously take it around, you know, when you're going to friends' houses and stuff like that to show it off, like I will be doing. You have it right there. Or if we want to put it on your desk, you can do it like that. So really cool and nice case that they put, you know, right on the Rabbit R1. Now, as far as the Rabbit R1 itself, we're going to go ahead and put the case here to the side. Here it is right in front of you. As you can see, it has the really sleek orange design. This is made by Teenage Engineering in partnership with them, and you can tell those guys always do a fantastic job with, you know, making something that strikes people. The design is obviously what a lot of people have been talking about on this thing. I personally love the orange look. I'm not even sure how good it's coming across on the camera, but it is very bright orange when you get it in your hands, and I personally love the look of it, and it's one of the things that made me gravitate towards trying this device when I first saw it, because to be 100% transparent, I bought this device just to review for this channel. I literally went on eBay. I was able to only pay like $20 more for this device, probably because so many people were talking so much crap about it that the prices kind of sunk down on it. So I only paid $20 over asking price of retail, so I can get it in my hands earlier for you guys and kind of dive right in. So I didn't have any prior notion to this. I didn't pre-order it. I wasn't involved in the hype train or anything like that. I'm literally only coming at it from a lot of reviews that came out over the last week. It piqued my interest to see what they were talking about. I know that I've never been into AI before. I've never had anything that I bought that was AI related like this before. I've never even, to be honest with you guys, I've never even dove in yet. We're going to be diving a lot into it in the future of this channel, but I've never really dove into ChatGPT or Perplexity on a lot of stuff. I've learned a lot of that stuff while reviewing this guy here, and just looking at other products in general of where we are in the current state of VR, which makes me excited to talk about some of this stuff. But I'm coming at it completely blind of not knowing anything about ChatGPT before, up until I got this device and started looking into it, and Perplexity, and all the stuff that comes with AI. So very, very blind I'm coming into this compared to, you know, some other people out there. So all that being said, what is exactly the Rabbit R1? So obviously, as you can see here, it is an all-in-one device that basically the promise of it, we'll start with the promise of it and what it actually is today. So the promise of the Rabbit R1, it is all-in-one device. It has a screen on it. It has a speaker on the back. It has this little scroll wheel that you can see right here that you can scroll through. It has a 360-degree camera. It has a SIM card slot so you can put in your SIM, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and USB-C for charging. The promise of this device is that not only does it have Perplexity built right into it and ChatGPT and all these other services that we're used to in AI, that basically what Rabbit is doing is they have an overlay in the middle of this stuff. So every time you ask it a question, it picks it up and it looks at it and it says, hey, based on the question that you're asking, I'm going to send this over to ChatGPT. I'm going to send this over to Perplexity, or I'm going to send this over to Uber Eats or Uber, or I'm going to send this over to Spotify. It has an overlay on what it's actually doing with its LLM. That's basically what it's called for those of you guys who haven't heard that term before. I started learning these terms here recently, and that stands for large language model, which basically just means that you could talk to this thing like you talk to a regular human being. That's essentially what it is, that it has a vast language library to know exactly what you're saying and understand exactly what you're asking for. And they have an overlay that their large language model that sits in the middle that understands what you're asking and sends it to all these different AIs that they're integrating into this thing to get you the best answers. Now, that's the first part of it. The second part of it, which is the more main feature that people were excited about and still are and stuff like that, is LAM, which is the large action model. Now, the large action model is basically its most unique feature that they're talking about, which basically is it actually doing actions for you that you don't need to do. Let's say, for example, that you wanted it to order a specific food for you on Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever the case may be, and you say, hey, I want you to order me a ham and cheese sub sandwich from, Jersey Mike's, that's the closest to me. I want you to tip $5 and send it to my house. And then basically, by you telling it that, it would do all those tasks for you and it would be done. That's essentially what the LLM is supposed to do. And the way it's doing that is pretty unique. It's not using APIs like a lot of other devices are probably going to do in the future, but what it's doing is it actually has this unique idea which is called teach mode, which is not something that's rolled out yet. They're saying it's going to roll out at the end of the year, but they do have 4 examples that we're going to talk about in this video of apps that are designed already with this language model that they integrated themselves, but the teach mode is going to be coming at the end of the year for everybody to use and use teach mode and do that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. The essential idea is that you go into the platform, you teach the Rabbit OS, that's what the OS is called, it's the Rabbit OS on here, and you basically go in there and teach it what you're doing. So let's say that you wanted to do that on DoorDash. You would essentially go on the DoorDash website, you would pick the sandwich that you just asked it for, you would put it into the cart, you would add the tip that you were talking about, you would check out, and you're basically teaching the Rabbit OS what you're doing, and then it would learn how you actually did what you want until the next time you asked it, it knew exactly what to do. And the way it does it is actually going on the website on your behalf. That's why there's no APIs needed. It's literally going on the DoorDash website, moving its mouse around, clicking it, and doing it for you. You can actually see it happen too. If you have Spotify open or DoorDash open while looking at this stuff on the website, you won't see the mouse cursor moving, but you can see that it's pausing your music or calling an artist on Spotify. Or if you're on DoorDash, that it's pulling up an order and you can see the order show up on DoorDash. So it's just doing all this stuff for you on the website really, really quickly and doing it all by essentially mouse clicking where it knows where the buttons are and what to click and how to check out. And it's doing it all for you. And what makes this a really cool idea is that since there's no APIs involved, they don't necessarily need to partner with anybody if they don't want to, because they could essentially teach it whatever it wants to be taught, and then it would do it for you. Now, it has to be taught first before that functionality is there, but that's the big promise of this thing and the big thing that separates it from other AI platforms that are out there, that this is using this teach mode. Now, that's the promise. So what do we have today? What is here and why has this device gotten so many people talking about it in a negative fashion? Well, the biggest reason is, one, the teach mode isn't there for us to be able to teach, all the different apps that we want. 2, there's only 4 apps on this right now, and that is Spotify, DoorDash, Uber, and MindJourney. Those are the 4 apps that are on here. I actually signed up with either free trials or signed up so I can show you guys exactly what all these services do here in a minute, just for you guys. Essentially right now, what this device actually is a ChatGPT device / Perplexity device. So that's where a lot of the people have an issue with this device, because a lot of people are just screaming, hey, why isn't this just an app? Why can't we just do an app with this stuff? Why are we wasting our time with this device? having a device like in a handheld where we have to carry something else and charge something else when it could have easily just been an app. Now, right this second, what this is actually doing for the most part is true. It could just be an app. But for what they want to do with this stuff in the coming months and in the coming future, it can't be an app. Not just because of the fact that nobody would be talking about this if it wasn't, this cool box that you have in your hand by Teenage Engineering and stuff like that to gather attention. Leave that aside. But they would need OS level stuff to be able to do that teach mode stuff that they want, and to be able to access your credit card to, charge the DoorDash stuff and do all this stuff and connect to your accounts and stuff. They wouldn't be able to do that if they didn't have their own OS. Apple's not going to let them touch the OS at that kind of level. So they had to build their own OS in order to at least see the future of what they're talking about. So I get it. I know why they needed it. It's not going to stop people from wanting it to just be an app because it's another device that they have to carry it around until those features get here. But I get the intent and I get the idea behind why it couldn't just be an app and why they wanted to make a full OS on their own. Let's go ahead and dive into what this thing is doing right now and what it does really well. So we're going to start off with ChatGPT and just asking it regular questions, going through down the line how this stuff actually answers it, how well it actually does. Now, again, remember, I've never used ChatGPT before or Perplexity. So a lot of the stuff I'm about to show you kind of blew my mind because I didn't realize how far AI has gotten. And I know people are going to look at this video and watch what I'm about to do and say, yeah, you could do that all on ChatGPT on my phone. Absolutely. But it is pretty cool to have a device that's on my side all the time that I could just do this stuff with and just ask it questions anytime I want. And I don't have to open an app on my phone and it's ready to go, and it's a dedicated AI device. And again, that's just on what it could do today. The promise of the teach mode stuff and all those applications are going to make this a lot more than just another app on your phone. But let's go ahead and start with that stuff first. All right, so here is a device right in front of us here up close, and this is the Rabbit OS. First of all, I love the rabbit right here in front of you. I think it's really cool that he animates as he's bouncing around and stuff like that, and then his ears are going to pop up when you actually ask it a question and stuff like that, which is cool. The screen is highly reflective, so I'm sorry that there's so many reflections on here in this office that we're filming this in because there is a lot of reflections on here, but that's just kind of how the screen is. But as you can tell, like I said, the orange is really nice and up close. That has a speaker right there on the back there. And we're going to go ahead and test this out. So there's only one button here, the main button that you activate everything with. You just press it once and the rabbit comes active. And then you can see here he starts hopping around, and then you press and hold to actually ask it a question. So let's go ahead and start off with the simple stuff. What's the current weather in Florida?
Checking the weather. The weather in Florida on Friday is sunny with 87 degrees Fahrenheit, 0% precipitation, and 10 miles per hour wind speed.
So you can see there that it answered that pretty easily. You can ask it for specific weather. That's obviously very basic stuff. And that's where we're kind of starting. And just to let you guys know, right now I am running this on Wi-Fi. So we'll do some tests on speed when it comes to a SIM card that I put in here. But right now, this is running on Wi-Fi. So let's go ahead and go with the next question. What's the score of the last Knicks game?
Let me see what I can find. The last Knicks game was on May 8th, 2024, against the Indiana Pacers, with the Knicks winning the game 130-121.
What is the next closest upcoming holiday?
Searching now. The next upcoming holiday in the United States is Memorial Day, which will be observed on Monday, May 27th, 2024. This federal holiday honors and mourns the military personnel who have died while serving in the United States Armed Forces.
So there you go. I'm honestly really impressed, and you guys are seeing that here, because I heard a lot of people say how slow this thing was, or that it took a while to answer questions and stuff. Unless if I'm misremembering the reviews, but I'm really impressed. Obviously it's not 1 second instant kind of thing, so I'm pretty impressed when it comes to the speed of this thing on everything that I've tried it on so far. I mean, yes, it's not instant. It does take us a couple of seconds, but I mean, for all the information that you're getting, I think this is working really solidly, and it can only improve from here. Well, one day we do get it to work in a second, but so far, no complaints about the speed on me. What's the biggest news story in pop culture that happened today?
Let me see what I can find. The biggest news story in pop culture currently is the intense rap battle between two chart-topping rappers, which has resulted in a series of diss tracks and a conversation about the potential implications for their personas and careers. Another significant story is the resignation of Noelia Voigt, Miss USA, who accused the organization of building a culture of fear and control. Additionally, the late musician and audio engineer who played a pivotal role in shaping the sound of alternative rock and became a vocal critic of the music industry is also making headlines.
So there you go. You can ask it about all these different kinds of stories that are out there, whatever you want. You can also ask it about movies. What's the most popular movie in theaters right now?
Searching now. The most popular movie currently playing in theaters is Challengers, 2024, directed by Luca Guadagnino and starring Zendaya, Josh O'Connor, and Mike Feist. It is a romantic drama about a tennis prodigy who falls in love with her opponent, challenging societal expectations and her own ambitions.
You could also ask it for summaries about pretty much any book or movie or TV show that you want. So you can say things like, can you give me a summary of the plot of the latest Avatar movie?
Let me see what I can find. Avatar, The Way of Water, directed by James Cameron, is the sequel to the 2009 film Avatar. The story follows Jake Sully, a human who became the chief of the Omaticaya clan on Pandora, as he and his family, including his wife Neytiri and their children, seek refuge with the aquatic Metkayina clan after renewed human threat. The film features a star-studded cast, including Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Kate Winslet, and Stephen Lang, reprising their roles from the first film. The production faced significant delays due to the necessity of developing new technology to film performance capture scenes underwater. The film is the first of 4 planned sequels to Avatar, with the others currently in development.
So there you go. You can also ask it about, how far one thing is from another. So I can say, how long would it take me to walk from Times Square to Madison Square Garden?
Give me a moment to look that up for you. It takes approximately 13 minutes to walk from Times Square to Madison Square Garden in New York City.
There you go. So really cool stuff. You can also ask it video game questions. You could say things like, what's the next big video game releasing in the month of May?
Give me a moment to look that up for you. The major video releases scheduled for May include Homeworld 3 for PC on May 8th, Senua's Saga, Hellblade II for PC and Xbox on May 21st, and Ghost of Tsushima, Director's Cut for PC on May 16th.
There you go. Which is really, really cool that you can get that stuff that easily. You can also ask it for the overall reviews of video games. What are the overall reviews for Helldivers 2?
Searching now. Helldivers 2 has received generally positive reviews, with an average user score of 7.4 on Metacritic, based on 4K reviews. Users have praised the game for its amazing gameplay and mechanics, cinematic explosions, and insane graphics. The game is easy to jump into, with quick matches that last around 40 minutes, making it a fun and thrilling experience. The gameplay loop is repetitive but engaging, with randomized missions, locations, enemy spawns, and friendly fire adding variety to the moment-to-moment experience. The game's humor and satire, particularly its super-Earth democracy, spreading liberty-loving utopian setting, have also been well received. However, there have been some performance issues and matchmaking problems, which have been improving with patches but are not yet fully resolved. Overall, Helldivers 2 is considered a fun and addictive multiplayer shooter, with plenty of unlockable gear, stratagems, upgrades, and cosmetics to
And
keep
just so you
players
guys know,
engaged.
if you wanted to stop talking, you could just hit the button on the side and then hit the button again for you to ask the next question. I don't think that's actually designed to be that way, but it does work because sometimes it goes into lengthy conversations. You may not want to know everything, but I appreciate that it does because then I can choose to end it when I want to right there with the button on the side. But you can even ask it, let's say you don't know the name of a video game and you're just like, what video game involves cars where you're hitting a soccer ball into a net?
The video game you are referring to is called Rocket League. In Rocket League, Players control rocket-powered cars to hit a ball into the opposing team's goal to score points. It combines elements of soccer with
So you
vehicular
guys get the
gameplay.
idea. So we'll skip that for now, but you guys get the idea. The last one, you can just imagine asking questions about video games that, like, you're in Minecraft and you want to know how you can build things in the video game and like how you build certain objects. All of that is available to you really easily just by asking these questions, which to me is super cool. Even for VR related content that you guys know, we do a lot of VR related content on this channel. You can ask it things like, hey, I'm a sports game fan and I own the Oculus Quest VR system. What are some really popular sports games in VR on the Quest?
Searching now. The most popular sports games in VR available for the Oculus Quest system include Iron Lights, Pickleball 1, Sports Scramble, All-in-One Sports VR, Real VR Fishing, Premium Bowling, Golf Plus, Creed, Rise to Glory, and 4VR Darts. These games offer unique and enjoyable experiences in their respective sports, combining real-life depictions with original creations that showcase the true potential of VR.
Now that was really cool. It's really sad that it didn't say 11 Table Tennis, which is the best sports game in VR in my opinion. But either way, you guys get the idea that you can get a lot of different information out of this stuff. Depending on what you're asking, you can ask it catchphrases from different TV shows. Like, what was Joey's famous catchphrase on Friends?
Joey's famous catchphrase on Friends was, "How you doin'?"
There you go. While you're playing board games, you guys know I love board games on this channel. It's great to use for board games as a little companion thing that you have next to you while you're playing board games, or you can say, how do you earn victory points in the board game Catan?
In the board game, Settlers of Catan, you earn victory points by building settlements, cities, and acquiring development cards. Each settlement is worth 1 victory point, while each city is worth 2. Development cards can also provide victory points. The first player to reach 10 victory points wins the game.
And you can continue the conversation and say things like, how many players can play?
Settlers of Catan can be played with 3 to 4 players in the base game. However, with expansions and extensions, the game can accommodate up to 6 players.
How long does the game typically take?
A typical game of Settlers of Catan, with 3 to 4 players, usually takes around 60 to 90 minutes to complete. The game length can vary based on player experience, strategies, and interactions during gameplay.
What happens when you roll a 7 in Catan?
In Settlers of Catan, when a player rolls a 7, it triggers the robber to be moved to a new hexagon tile on the board. Additionally, any player with more than 7 resource cards must discard half of their cards, rounded down to the bank. The player who rolled the 7 gets to steal 1 resource card from another player of their choice. This mechanic adds an element of strategy and interaction to the game.
You could also just have some fun with this device and just ask it all sorts of different things that you don't even think this thing can do. Like you can say, can you describe the day that you're having today, but do it in a way that Darth Vader would do it?
Today is a day filled with the Force's presence, guiding my actions and illuminating my path. The galaxy unfolds before me, each moment a step towards destiny. The power of the dark side resonates within, shaping the events of this day. The Force is strong, and its will shall be done.
There you go. It's just some really cool stuff that you can do with this. You can mash 2 TV shows. You can say things like, write a short story where the main characters of the 2 TV show Friends and Boy Meets World met each other on vacation in Mexico. Include dialogue between the characters and a detailed description of their surroundings and the adventures that they go on.
In a quaint Mexican resort town, the paths of the beloved characters from Friends and Boy Meets World converged unexpectedly. As the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Rachel, Monica, Ross, Chandler, Joey, Phoebe, Corey, Topanga, Sean, and Mr. Feeney found themselves sharing a table at a local cantina. Amidst the vibrant sounds of mariachi music and the aroma of sizzling street food, the two groups struck up a conversation. Rachel's enthusiasm mixed with Topanga's wisdom. Joey's charm entertained Sean, and Phoebe's eccentricity intrigued Mr. Feeney. The friends decided to explore the town together, embarking on a series of misadventures. From getting lost in the bustling marketplace to attempting to salsa dance with the locals, each moment brought laughter and camaraderie.
So I'll
As the
stop
day
that there, but you
unfolded,
guys get
they
the idea. It's really, really cool, the stuff that you can do with this. You never know what you can ask it, because you never know what it could actually do. It's actually some pretty cool stuff. I'm gonna leave you guys with one last one here before we wrap up this little section here. Create a 5-day meal plan for me based on Italian dishes that involve chicken and tomatoes.
Here is a 5-day meal plan featuring Italian dishes with chicken and tomatoes. Day 1. Chicken parmesan. Breaded chicken topped with marinara sauce and melted cheese, served with spaghetti marinara. Day 2. Chicken cacciatore. Chicken simmered in a flavorful tomato sauce with bell peppers, onions, and mushrooms, served over pasta. Day 3. Caprese chicken. Grilled chicken topped with fresh tomatoes, mozzarella, basil, and balsamic glaze, served
I'm
with
gonna
a
stop
side
that
of
there
roasted
again and then say, what are all the ingredients that I need to make these meals?
Here are the ingredients you will need to make the Italian dishes with chicken and tomatoes for the 5-day meal plan. Day 1. Chicken parmesan. Boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Salt and pepper. All-purpose flour. Eggs. Breadcrumbs. Grated Parmesan cheese. Marinara sauce.
Can you save this response to my note?
Saving your note.
But you guys get the idea there. Idea that this thing can do a whole lot when it comes to using the ChatGPT and Perplexity and stuff. It's really impressed me as somebody who hasn't used this stuff on how much information you can get out of this and how useful it can be to just carry a device that has these things right with you, whether it be your phone or a device like this, because it could be useful for board games. It could be useful for games that you're playing. It could be useful for asking general knowledge. It could just be fun to have around. It can even be useful when you want to certain responses. You can ask it to help you come up with a response to your girlfriend when she's giving you, a hard time for a certain situation, and it will help you come up with a response to send her. All of these different things. You can ask it for how you should tweet when you come to a certain topic, and it will tell you how to tweet. All of these different things that you can ask it for. It's kind of unlimited when it comes to that stuff. One of the other things that you could do with this is it has a 360 camera, like I talked about, where it uses for vision. So you could literally ask it what's in front of it, kind of stuff. So you can double tap the side. You can see the camera will turn on, and I can point it at anything, and I can say, where can I buy these?
Taking a look now. You can purchase these Girl Scout trefoil cookies from a local Girl Scout troop or council. The trefoil cookies are one of the iconic Girl Scout cookie varieties, inspired by the original Girl Scout recipe. They are typically available for a limited time during the annual Girl Scout cookie sale season. If you are interested in buying these cookies, your best option is to reach out to your local Girl Scout organization or look for Girl Scouts selling cookies in your community.
There you go. How much do these cookies usually cost?
Let me see. The box of trefoil shortbread cookies shown in the image typically costs $5, according to the information provided on the packaging.
What kind of computer is this?
Let me see. This appears to be a gaming computer, or PC. The image shows a computer case with various components visible, including a powerful graphics card and a display panel providing detailed system information, such as the CPU model, clock speed, and performance metrics. The overall design and components suggest this is a high-end gaming or enthusiast-level computer system.
Correct. So really cool stuff what you can do with vision. It doesn't get everything perfect all the time, But it is really cool, and it's only going to get better from here. And yeah, I'm pretty impressed with what it's done so far with the stuff that I've asked it to check out. Now, as you guys saw there, that's a lot of what the ChatGPT and Perplexity and all that stuff that's on this device is using. Now, again, this is stuff on the device that you can do that really impressed me because I've never used this stuff, and I didn't realize how far AI is going nowadays. And it's just really interesting, and I love having a device that I can carry with me that gives me all of these answers in a really cool looking device. But yes, it's true, you can just download ChatGPT and use that on your phone and stuff like that. But it is noteworthy to say that this includes Perplexity for the life of the product. So this is Perplexity is usually not a free service when you use their, you know, their advanced features and stuff like that, and ChatGPT 4 and stuff like that. But this is using Perplexity built in for the life. You never have to pay for it, no subscription fees. So you have that advantage that it has Perplexity on here, the Pro version. And on top of that, it is Perplexity will go out to ChatGPT 4 and other platforms when it needs to, based on the questions that you're asking, again, with no fees, because ChatGPT 4 does require a subscription. So yeah, you can do this on other apps, but you are getting some added values that you don't need to pay for any of the subscription fees, but you're getting some of this stuff right here built into the box. Now, some of the other stuff I wanted to show you guys were those 4 apps that we were talking about that obviously we all have already said don't work as well as they should. Some work better than others, that's for sure, and I can get them to work. So we're going to start with Spotify real quick. I'm not going to be able to play the songs because obviously copyright, but I will show you that it does work. I subscribe to Spotify just for this, and I can say, play the latest album from Tate McRae.
Getting the music going now.
And like I said, it is really quick. I'm hitting the side button there to pause. So if you hit this button again, you can pause it, and it pauses right there. So it is really quick. It does bring it up really well. But the issues that I have with it are not the fact that that doesn't work. That works every time. I can ask for whatever song, whatever artist, and it always pulls it up. However, if you ask for an album or you ask for it to play the latest album, right now there's a bug that they're aware that they're fixing, that after the song finishes, it's going to go to another randomized song that's like this. It's not going to continue on the album. So something that they're working on. But other than that, Spotify has been the one that's worked the best for me when it comes to everything else that I ask it for. If I ask for a specific song or a specific artist and stuff like that, except for the fact that, like I said, after it plays a couple songs, it may skip to ones that are similar to it. And that's a bug that they're working on that they say they will have fixed. But the Spotify client works pretty well. And besides that bug that they obviously need to get fixed because that's really annoying. But the fast pace and how you can ask for any song or artist works well. And the way you get out of this stuff is, if you want it to stop playing altogether, is you actually it does a little soft reset when you hit the button on the side 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really quickly. And then boom, it cuts out and you can see it go back to the home menu. So that's like a soft refresh of the OS and it gets you out of the music player. Now, the other thing that's on here that people have talked about is, of course, Uber and DoorDash that are on here. Obviously, I'm not going to show you guys that running right now because I don't want to order food or an application right now, but I will just show you an idea. So for DoorDash, let's say I say something like, order me some food from the closest McDonald's.
Okay, let's get your order started. DoorDash may take a while to load on RabbitOS and may not be available in all regions.
So this is the one that definitely takes the longest, and I'm going to leave it running here so you guys can see exactly how long it takes, because it just takes a while to spin up. So using DoorDash and Uber definitely take the longest on here. And the biggest problem with these that are on offer that you guys will see here in a minute is that when the menu pulls up, you only get to see the 4 to 6 items on the menu. So you can't ask for specific things. The dream, of course, is to say what I said in the beginning of this video. Order me this, tip this much, and get it to my house. But that's not how it works right now. Right now, it's using your default address where it's going to send it to based on your DoorDash profile. So whatever that is, if it's set to your house, that's always where it's going to go. You can't ask for specific food items. You can just ask for, generic items like, hey, I want a pizza, and it's going to show you places that have pizza or subs and stuff like that. But if you know something's on the menu specifically at a specific restaurant, you can't. So there it goes popping up, and you can see McDonald's nearby. And if I click on it and I click this one, it says it's 22 minutes away, 4.6 stars. It goes ahead and then it takes another few seconds again to load the actual menu, where it's going to give you, like I said, 4 to 6 different options here. So now it's loading through the menu. And it's going to give you pictures and stuff like that. So again, it's definitely not the fastest experience, and it's definitely something that needs work as far as the speed goes. So we're actually going to try Midjourney right now and see exactly what it can do. I have a prompt written down that we're going to try, and I've never seen the results of this. So we're going to see exactly how this will actually look. Use Midjourney to create a Funko figure of a male smiling called UrGamingTechie, wearing a white blue shirt, ripped blue jeans, and all white boots. Make him have black hair with black sunglasses on top of the head. Make them also be holding a tiny video game console in their hand. The Funko Pop is displayed inside and outside a limited edition blue and green Funko box with Your Gaming Techie text and of the figure, typography, 3D render, white background.
Got it. Please be patient while I'm generating
So
your
I said a
image.
lot there. We'll see how that even comes out. I have no idea. I got this prompt as a, from someone else who ran a prompt similar to this, and I wanted to see what my results were. We're obviously going to give that a minute. This is one of the apps, like I said, that you can't really complain about how long it takes because it's literally how long Midjourney takes to run this. It takes some time, so it's not like this is taking time for no reason. This is how long Midjourney takes. Even if you were to run it directly on Discord, it takes some seconds to produce it. So we're going to sit here and wait for this picture here, see how long it takes. But the stuff that this stuff can do is just insane. The AI is getting better every day, and it makes me really excited for the future. I can't wait to see what more integrations come on Rabbit or whatever else platform is out there, because there's different AI for different things out there. You want an AI that specializes in cooking. You want an AI that specializes in song making or specializes in this and that. They're all out there.
Images have been successfully generated.
There you go. Here we go. We got some Funko Pops. Oh boy, look at this. So the only thing it didn't do right, and I'm sure if I did it again, it might actually get, is the Your Gaming Techie portion I don't see in the picture. But I could probably fix it if I want to on Discord, because that's what it's running on, is Discord. But let me show you guys a close-up of this, of the first one there. So you guys can see that right there, that it actually created an image of somebody with black hair, and it gave me 4 different images. So that first one has a controller on the side. It says limited edition and all that kinds of stuff. And then look at the second one here. He's holding a controller in my hand just like I asked for, which is pretty cool. There it is. And here on the other hand, he's holding a controller and a little joystick box as well, which is pretty cool. Got my shirt exactly what I said, in a white shirt with a blue shirt on top. Got the jeans. It's exactly what I said. The only thing that's missing, like I said, that I would probably fix is I'd probably use the first picture. That's my favorite one, but I would tell it to make some changes and put Your Gaming Techie on there. All right, guys, so as you guys saw there, between the apps there, the Midjourney is probably the one that does the best out of all of them, but there is even quirks with that. The fact that it shows you the 4 images on your device is awesome. You can see them, but you can't actually do anything with them. For those of you guys who don't know, Midjourney works with Discord. So obviously if I ask this device for my pictures, it's going to be in Discord when I look it up later, and then I can save the pictures or download them, whatever I want to do, but I can't physically download them or do anything with them yet on here. However, that is changing really soon, next week actually, and I could do an update video for you guys if you guys are interested. Leave comments down below, but everything that you ask this thing is being saved, or is going to be saved starting next week. There's something called Rabbit Hole, which is the website sitting right here next to me, that keeps track of everything that you ask for. But right now, the only thing that goes on that website is when you save a note, like when we did that 5-day Italian meal plan, there's the note that it created for that. Or when I do any of the vision stuff where it actually saves the picture of the PC, like you guys are looking at here, the PC that we did there before. There's the PC right there. And there's the picture of the PC that it took, and it gives me the prompt, which is awesome. You could download the picture right from there if you want to, or take a look at your notes and everything. But that's all that's being saved right now. Next week, it's going to start taking into account everything. At least according to them. The cloud update is coming next week, and everything that you ask will be on there. So it won't just be those 2 things. It will be every single question that you asked, and everything from Midjourney will be there, and it will save the pictures, and you'll be able to download them just like you can with the vision stuff. So that will make the Mind Journey stuff a whole lot better, obviously, because then you can ask for it here when you're out and about. You think of something, you want to do it right there and then you can come home, go on the website, and the pictures will be right there for you. So then it will be a lot more useful to use this thing with Midjourney. The second one after that, I would say, is Spotify. Spotify, like I said, works well for asking music, for asking for specific songs and for specific music, except for that quirk that they're working on fixing, which I would assume is going to be fixed relatively soon as well. And then you have DoorDash and Uber that both, I think, need the same amount of, help. They take a long time to actually do anything with it. That's the first problem. But the bigger problem is that when they do finally load, even though it theoretically works because I've used them, I've used DoorDash to order food, and I went pretty far along in the process for Uber to see how it worked. I didn't actually need a ride, so I didn't actually order one. But for DoorDash, I used it, and everything works seamlessly. The problem is that there's no way to change the tip. It puts the max tip all the time. There's no way to ask for a specific item on the menu. It just does generic stuff. And it only shows like the 6 items on the menu. So it's not as intuitive as it could be, but it is a good first start. It gives us the idea on what this teach mode stuff is going to be able to do, but they definitely need to ramp these fixes up for these 4 apps because there is only 4 and people are already complaining about it. So if you're going to have 4, at least have these 4 be feature rich and work exactly as advertised. So definitely need some work. But it is cool to see the starting things of what teach mode is going to be able to do when we get involved with it later this year, that they're saying we're going to be able to do it by the end of the year. But I'm excited to see how updates continue on this thing and how all that stuff progresses. But that's basically everything we got to talk about here, guys, on this device. It's going to be an interesting journey for Rabbit R1, for their humane pin that's out there now. For our Android and our Android and iPhones that are going to be getting AI features. Google has been getting it for a long time already. iPhone should be getting it this year with the big conference that's coming up. More devices are probably going to get AI pieces just like this. This being the biggest one right now, along with the humane pin. But it's an interesting future that we have, and I can't wait to see how it kind of all progresses. I think devices like this definitely have a place, in my opinion, even if it could just be an app. Sometimes having a dedicated device for certain things makes it more fun to use. It makes it more proactive to use if they have specific features that have the reason for them to exist. Like the humane pin, which we'll do a separate video on if I get in touch with those guys to get a hold of one of those. Their whole shtick is that it sits on your chest, so you can put it on all your clothes and stuff like that, so it's always with you, always mobile with you. But we'll get into that in a whole new video. This one's like a little handheld portable, as you can see, and I love the look of it. So they each have their own thing. They're each doing things very differently. The Rabbit R1, the most interesting thing about it is that teach mode that I was talking about throughout this whole video. I can't wait to see how that kind of goes with these 4 apps, how much better they get, and how that happens when it actually gets out into the wild, and we can start teaching this thing a bunch of different websites out there, which I'm super excited about, and see how that progresses, because that could definitely be a game changer to get a lot of different applications, and for this thing to do anything that you want it to do when it gets to that point without actually having to open the apps on the phone. Then it's going to start saying, instead of opening up my phone and touching this app and doing all this thing, I could literally tell this thing 3 sentences on exactly what I want, and it will do it. Right now it doesn't work the way that we want to, but they're working on it. But imagine DoorDash being like, hey, I want to order this food from this place at this time, send it to my house, and my address is blah, blah, blah. And it does it all for you, and then it gives you alerts when the guy's nearby, and that's it. And tell it to what tip you want to leave, whatever the case may be. And that's obviously, if you give 2 lines, it's going to be a lot faster than taking your phone out, scrolling through the menu and doing it. So the potential is there, but the vision is not yet fulfilled when it comes to that stuff. Right now, what I'm going to be using it for until those updates come is my personal ChatGPT 4 box, my personal Perplexity box, and asking it all random questions. I'm going to have it on my desk whenever I want to know things or ask things about sporting events or things going on in the world, whatever the case may be. When I'm playing board games, I want to look up a quick rule. I can look it up through this. The possibilities are endless for sure, and it kind of gives you an idea of where AI is headed. And I actually have a Google Pixel phone coming. That's what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. That's really going to allow me to see what Google's been up to, because Google Pixels have been getting a lot of AI features over the last year and a half or so. iPhone's going to be getting there, so we'll be talking about that later on. But I want to talk about the Google Pixel with you guys to talk about what those AI features are doing and what Gemini is doing for Google phones and all that kinds of stuff, because they all have their own different ways of doing things. And we'll do a comparison maybe. If you guys are interested, leave those comments down below. Do you guys want to see me take this and do a bunch of comparisons between all different devices that I have? We could compare, the same exact questions on this thing. We can compare it on Siri. We can compare it on the Google Gemini when I get that thing. We can compare it on the Meta glasses that I'm working on a review on as well. So we can compare in all of them and see how they all handle questions and how they all do things. If you guys are interested, definitely let me know. But so far, I don't think it's as bad as what I thought when I saw people saying how bad it actually was, but I can understand also at the same time why people are saying this is bad, because it's not delivering the promise that a lot of people were looking forward to, and the promise is definitely not here. But as someone who came into this very blind and never used ChatGPT and Perplexity, it blew me away, but it's not going to blow people away with that, because people have already been using it on the phones, for a very long time. It can easily get those apps on their phones. But for me, so far, using that stuff has been really cool, and it got me interested in AI, and now we got to hope that they actually give us and fulfill the promise that they're asking us. The good news is at least they're updating this thing every week with either an OS update or cloud update. So it seems like they're fully geared and ready to go. Now we just got to wait and see what the coming month, 2, 3, and 4 comes ahead, and if they're going to be able to keep pace with, Google Gemini and Google phones and iPhones and whatever they do on their side with AI. But I'm here for the ride, and I'm excited, and I will keep you guys updated when major things come to this thing and any of the other AI products that I have coming up. One of the things that I totally forgot about to mention in this video, that I almost forgot about, we're going to talk about in this wrap up, is that this thing costs $200. I don't know if I mentioned that throughout the whole entire video because I was so excited to talk about it. So this thing costs $200. Like I said, it comes with ChatGPT 4 and Perplexity Pro and all that stuff built in for the life of the device, as long as you use it on this device. It's not going to give you that stuff for free if you use it outside of this device, but if you use it on here, it is for free. So there is some value there. For somebody who doesn't have ChatGPT yet, I'm not going to go subscribe to ChatGPT now on my phone, because I could just use it on this. I got it for free for the lifetime of the product. I might go subscribe to Google Gemini to go try what they're doing over there, and stuff like that, but I'm not going to subscribe now to ChatGPT, because this is now my ChatGPT box for now until they deliver those other features that we're going to be talking about. So I think the best way to end this video here is to have the Rabbit R1 tell us what it thinks about itself and if you should buy one. Tell us what you think about the Rabbit R1 and if everybody watching this video should purchase one for themselves.
The Rabbit R1 is a versatile device with useful features. Whether to purchase one depends on individual needs and preferences.
True. So it's telling you it depends on your individual needs and your preferences, and that's true with any sort of product. And hopefully that's exactly what this video gave you guys, and helped you come to a conclusion if this is for you, because it's definitely not going to be for everybody. Other than that, guys, if you guys have any questions, as always, leave those down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.